What's up, YouTube? It's tinysey and welcome to my digital garden. I've been seeing all the celebrities that have been in controversy recently. So today I wanted to dive specifically into Drake and Cody Ko because they honestly have very similar offenses, but it doesn't really end there. There's so many people that have been in controversy for similar things. Miranda Sings, James Charles, Michael Jackson. So many people have been in controversy as celebrities for just doing unethical and unmoral things. And it's just like, were they always this way? Did we give fame to the wrong person? Or is this just something that naturally happens as you become more famous? So let's get into that topic.
Listen, Annika, I'm the Homelander, and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
So first we have to talk about the problems we're seeing with Drake and Cody Ko because they have very similar accusations. I'm going to be using allegedly. I don't want any problems. I don't know if any of this is fully confirmed, so we're using allegedly just to stay safe. Recently, with the whole beef that's been going on with Drake and Kendrick, it's very hard to avoid. I'm sure you've all heard it. Kendrick was bringing to light the fact that Drake has a very questionable history around his relationships with minors. Drake is currently 37 years old and he has had some questionable behaviors. I am not gonna lie. Earlier this year, he went on a date with Big Lotto's little sister and she is currently 21, but she had just turned 21 and he was seen out with her, presumably on a date. He's 37, she's 21. That is a 16-year age gap. When I saw that news, I figured if he's willing to go on a date with somebody that young in public, then Lord knows what he's doing behind closed door. I had a whole debate about this with my friends and I just was standing by it. And this was before the whole Kendrick allegation. So I always believed Drake was very, very sus and no one wants to be known as a person that dates minors or has relations with minors because this is a horrible crime. You are actually just vile. You're vile in my mind. I mean, maybe not everyone feels that way, but to me, that's like definitely one of the worst things that you could do. A lot of women have also come out to share weird stories about meeting Drake, talking to Drake, and just the conversations and relations that they had just feel inappropriate. People also bring up his very well-known relationship with Millie Bobby Brown, and when they dive deeper into it, it just doesn't feel normal. It does feel like potentially could be groomer activity. So Drake just has a very weird history with minors and how he decides to deal with them. There's no confirmed proof about this, but because of the behaviors that he has shown out in the open, this accusation has been floating around, especially after Kendrick kind of just sealed the deal with that whole A minor line. Now we move on to Cody Ko. D'Angelo Wallace made a video calling out Cody Ko for his previous relations with Tana Mojo. Apparently, when Tana Mojo was 17 and Cody Ko was 25, they did the deed. And this is a crime because she was under the age.
I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then and
apparently Cody was told that she was underage from a friend, Gabby, and he still decided to go along with whatever he did. I have not ever really watched his YouTube videos or saw him on Vine or wherever he was popular before he moved on to YouTube, but he seems to have a very good image. People say that he's a really nice person. And so to hear these accusations, it's probably hard for a lot of his fans. And for this reason, a lot of people have not really been holding him accountable until this moment where a big YouTuber has decided to call him out and sort of force everyone to finally bring attention to this heinous crime that he has allegedly committed. And so it kind of brings into question his morals and his ethics. Why would someone that has a lovable persona that comes across as so likable to his audience decide to do something with such poor ethics? And that leads me into the next topic.
Your evil tapes full of evil secrets. That's why I'm going to bury you where no one will ever find you.
We don't know who these people really are, and that's the thing with celebrities. A lot of people form parasocial relationships with celebrities, and a parasocial relationship refers to a kind of psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their mediated encounters with performers in mass media, particularly on television and on online platforms. When fans are essentially consuming media of Drake, of Cody Ko, of James Charles, of Miranda Sings, of the countless number of people who have been in these situations, they form a relationship with them or an image of who they are in their mind. And you don't really know who they are. You're just getting the curated pieces that they decide to give you. A lot of these people are very aware of the fact that they are in front of a camera. They make sure that they are showing the side of themselves that they want to show. Fans take these bits and pieces and create an idea or belief of who these people are. And for the longest time with Cody Ko and with Drake, people thought that they were nice guys, especially Drake. He always went with the soft, sensitive, nice guy type of act, and it's curated. I will point out that with Drake, within the recent years, that nice guy persona has been falling off. He dissed Serena Williams, he dissed Rihanna, Megan Thee Stallion, but with Cody Ko, this is kind of the first time people are breaking that idea that they had of him. It's the first time that people are realizing that maybe the perception that they have of him is not actually what it seems. And that doesn't mean that we have to assume bad things about celebrities. I think it's a good thing to assume that people are good until they show you otherwise, but that's just to point out the fact that very much take it with a grain of salt and know that you don't know who these people are. Drake is selling out theaters and performing in front of 20,000 people, 30,000 people. He's selling out. Cody Ko has almost 6 million on YouTube and has 2 million followers on Instagram. And so this is a huge following. When you see someone that's at the top of their game, gaining so much attention, people begin to deify them and put them on a pedestal, which leads them to assigning good qualities to them. And essentially, they forget that they're human too. And all humans have flaws. All humans are capable of making mistakes. And I would argue even more so when you are a celebrity. And we see this surprise that comes about when somebody like Cody Ko or Drake has accusations against them. It's this whole thing. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And people are just so shocked. It breaks them out of the fantasy that they had about the celebrity. So now we could kind of get into why becoming a celebrity slowly makes you a less ethical person.
Gronk, you know what I do? Cheat. What am I hearing? You can't do that. Stop it, stop it. Cry baby, stick your head in pie, baby.
So I did a lot of research and I was trying to figure out why celebrities are so prone to ethical decline. And I saw a lot of things on just leaders in general and how leadership can fail. Because celebrities are in a way leading people, they're influencing them. A lot of people follow what they do, what they say. That's why they get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for advertisements, because they know having a celebrity on their side will 100% get people to buy. So the first thing that I found about becoming a celebrity that will erode your ethics and morals is power. Power can be defined as being able to influence others due to asymmetric dominion of resources, the capability to summon means to achieve ends, and being able to impose one's will over others and entities. One thing I found from research is that power leads to corruption and also that it can be very addictive. And it's addictive because the areas of the brain linked with addiction, including the amygdala and dopaminergic neurons, play a huge part in responding to social rank and hierarchy signals. So if you are someone that has a lot of status and has a high place in the hierarchy of society, you're triggering your amygdala constantly. And so eventually you get addicted to that power. Research also shows that power makes people feel as though they are invincible, they are untouchable, that they are above the law, which would make sense why they would do something so unethical and feel as though they were going to get away with it. Even when we look at somebody like p-diddy, who has so much power over people, we see how he's acted in these absolutely crazy ways. When I saw the video of him in the hotel dragging Cassie, he was able to get away with this because he paid off the hotel, which is just insane. Knowing that there's cameras in the hallway, he decided to do this thing because he probably knew he had the power to make it go away. Can pay somebody off, give them $50,000, and essentially make it disappear. Of course, eventually it resurfaced again, but the fact that for years that has been buried, it definitely is in correlation with his power. And so it's not for no reason that they feel as though they're above the law or that they can get away with anything. Unfortunately, in this corrupt world, power does allow them to get away with a lot of things. Even somebody like Cody Ko, who might not be on the level of a p-diddy or a Drake, does have that power to feel as though a young tinysey, who might not have been as successful as he was at the time, that he can get away with committing a crime essentially and no one would say anything. It's also the influence that power gives you, the yes men that come around you because of the power that you have. It's not good for your ethical decision making. They lose touch with the human parts of them, the empathetic parts, the kind parts, the parts that tell them that's wrong. They're not held accountable for their actions at a certain point in their career. And the second biggest thing is the ego. And this is probably the most obvious reason why a celebrity's morals become obsolete. The ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. It's almost become this fact that a celebrity will have a big ego. There's very few celebrities that I feel are humble or have a humble attitude about them. And research has demonstrated how ego threatens objectivity. It disrupts relationships and impairs ethical decision making. There's this feeling of self-importance and entitlement. And I feel like with the Cody Ko situation, there must have been a sense of entitlement. Perhaps it's because a lot of girls are throwing themselves at these people, Drake, Cody Ko, all the people, coupled with the power. They know they have the ability to get what they want. And research shows that it leads them to take actions that they would otherwise deem unethical. So a lot of these people, because of the position they have been put in, because of their lot in life, now they're celebrities, they begin to believe that they deserve different treatment than others do. There's also the isolation from reality. You get into this position where you are surrounded by yes men. And oftentimes research shows that the people that do tell you no, they get fired, they get kicked out, they're immediately eradicated. It reminds me of when Kanye was going on a rant in his studio.
Ain't nobody stop. Shut up. Be quiet before you get excited.
And it's like literally that. Like Kanye West is the best example of someone who has the huge inflated ego and because of it loses a sense of self because he has way too many yes men around him and nobody telling him no. People who have large egos also can be correlated with thrill-seeking or risk-taking behaviors. And so the things that Drake and Cody Ko have done definitely are on the risk-taking side because, like I said, if you were a normal person, you would know that this is like definitely illegal. It also goes back to that fact that Gabby Hanna did tell Cody how old Tana was. And despite hearing this, he still went forward with his actions. And to me, it kind of leans towards a thrill-seeking or risk-taking type of behavior, but also the entitlement that, oh, this girl wants me, she potentially was showing interest. But despite all those facts, a rational person would say, okay, she's underage though. So it doesn't matter if she's showing interest. It doesn't matter if I could theoretically get away with this. If you have morals and ethics, you're going to be like, I'm not going to do it. He's finally being put in the position to take accountability for that risk-taking behavior, which leads me into that last point about the ego, which is the lack of accountability. Celebrities often face fewer consequences for their unethical behaviors. And this is because of, again, the combination of their status and their power and just the access that they have to resources. With the p-diddy situation, or even with people like James Charles, where they're just openly messaging people or actually committing crimes. When all these things come to light, yes, they get canceled, just like Cody Ko or even Drake with the whole song and people calling him out. That happens, but we oftentimes don't see any real justice. And I guess the question would be, what would real justice look like? Hopefully for someone like p-diddy, it's jail. Hopefully for someone like Cody Ko, where this is like potentially a crime, because we don't know if this is facts or not. The justice would be to take it seriously. The justice in my head would be that not only the public, but the law takes the time to hear the accusations out, because this is a story that the victim has told. This is a story that Tana has said. I don't know if she wants to press charges. I don't know what's going on with that whole thing, but it's like if someone comes forward like a Cassie or a Tana to take these things seriously and at least investigate.
You're a lot slower. Huh? You're slow. Huh? It takes longer for you to learn things. Huh? You failed 5 times. Huh?
It does lead me to think about how many celebrities are going to have to learn this lesson. Because if we could piece together that being in a position of fame leads to an erosion of your morals and ethical decision making, it impairs your ability to make ethical decisions, then what are we doing about it? What are they doing about it? What are people that want to be in this position doing preemptively to make sure that they do not also follow down these horrible footsteps? People don't want to be on the outside. So even D'Angelo Wallace making that video, he was putting himself in the position to be told you're wrong or people to hate on him because he's trying to call out someone like Cody Ko. Luckily, people are embracing it and they're saying, yeah, let's hold him accountable. Oftentimes people won't do something like what D'Angelo Wallace has done because they're fearful of the reaction that might happen. And so I think that people have to be more willing and brave to hold others accountable. But unfortunately, since a lot of these things oftentimes come out as alleged, and sometimes you will get like an apology video, especially with James Charles and Miranda Sings, you get like these half-baked apologies. And I think it's because they are on the internet, they're influencers, they have to do that. But when it gets to bigger celebrities, it's harder to get these larger celebrities to take accountability for their actions. It fades away in the never-ending news cycle and people forget about it. We also, as the people, have to take them off the pedestal so that they also can remember not too much. We shouldn't be pedestalizing humans in the first place because we have so much history, so much evidence that is showing us that it leads us nowhere, that it's not a good thing. So hopefully we take that a bit more seriously in the future and as we continue with this celebrity culture. Like, I'm just so here for the reinventing of celebrity culture. Use the evidence we have to actually make changes because it's like we know all of these things and it can be pieced together and no one does anything about it. I think that these people have a responsibility to work even harder than the regular person because they have the power and the influence to actually cause chaos. But essentially what I have found and the conclusion I've come to from the research that I've done is that power, status, and an inflated ego will lead to your downfall. It will lead to your moral decline and to your impaired ethical decision-making skills. If you are not actively keeping that in check, then there will be more Cody Kos, there'll be more Drakes. Hopefully for people aspiring to be a celebrity, you remember to keep your morals and ethics in check. And easier said than done, but I feel like if people actively begin to try to do these sorts of things, then if they ever do get in that position, somewhere in the back of their mind, they'll remember. I don't want to end up like a Cody Ko or a Drake. So that's really what I think about it. It might change in the future. It might not change. People might ignore all the signs. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll see. Tell me what you guys think. Share your thoughts, share your experiences on this topic. I'm very interested to hear. And if you've made it this far in the video, post the spider emoji. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video.